Well, hello everyone. Welcome to this video of a restoration project for a Fender made in Mexico Stratocaster. And this one is, I checked the serial number, is made in 1999. And this is the SS or HSS version with the humbucker on the bridge and two single coil on the neck and in the middle position. So not a super popular Strat, but regardless, I did get this at a good price. Someone locally is selling it, and the main concern I had before I checked out the guitar is on the fretwear, and this one looks like it's barely being played. Which gives me hope that after the restoration, it could be my personal guitar for enjoyment. So prior to this, I have the Squier Vintage Vibe 50s SSS configuration guitar. I don't really like that guitar as much because of some build quality concerns. But this one seems very well built. Even before I started, disassembling everything, it just feels well made holding it in the hand. So in this video, first part is going to be, I guess, the disassembly process. I'm going to try to take everything apart, do sort of a general view, review of this made in Mexican model of the HSS. And then in the next section, I'm going to try to reassemble everything and then just do some general surface restoration. Like it's fairly dirty, and there are some visible pitting on the chrome parts, as you can see. So hopefully I want to be able to fix those. If not, as long as the electronics is working fine, I wouldn't complain, but that's gonna be the last process in this video. So first thing first, I'm gonna start disassembly and inspect all the parts on this guitar. All right, so before I start taking everything apart, I actually tried to just quickly tune the guitar. Surprisingly, the string's really old, and tuner haven't been properly adjusted. However, it actually stays in tune pretty nicely, which makes me believe this is probably a fairly well-made guitar. In such condition, it's easy to tune. Makes me have hope in restoring this guitar. Now, next thing it looks like someone drilled holes over here. So I don't know if it's because the screw is kind of messed up or some other reasons, but this is kind of suspicious and I'm kind of a little worried. Hopefully it's not stripped or anything. Looking at the back side, again, there are some pitting on all the chrome parts. Hopefully I want to polish this out if possible, and if not, it's okay. The tuner all looks to be in fairly good shape, and they're nice and straight. Nothing weird about them. And when I was trying to tune the guitar, it actually tuned really nicely. This is kind of faded away as well. So, I mean, it's from 1999, so over 20 years old. Okay, so I would consider this actually a vintage guitar for its age. And again, I think that's a 70s logo from Fender. Just looks nice. Even though it's made in Mexico, it feels like a quality guitar, okay? All right, so I just quickly hooked the guitar up with my amp, which is the Line 6 DT50. And let's give it a try. Hopefully the electronics works, hopefully. And what I noticed is this jack is actually already pretty loose over here. Let's see. Seems to be working fine. The knobs are pretty sandy feeling, so they're not very smooth. I would think it's probably being left somewhere exposed to the Florida moisture in the past. And even with rusted strings, it actually sounds pretty nice. Check out the middle position. And what's most interesting is the humbucker on a Strat. Let's see. Definitely a higher output compared to the single coil. Yeah. It's a lot louder than the single coils at the middle and the neck position. Okay. So this is the neck right here, and as you can hear, the volume is much. It's less. So I would say if you play sometimes distorted, this humbucker at the bridge position is definitely gonna be interesting. And you know what? The tone on the humbucker is actually not controlled. So it actually defaults to a tone, and there's no tone knob for the humbucker tone control. Or it could be that this knob is broken, the middle knob. It's not doing anything when I'm trying to actually change the tone on any of those bridges. So this knob is broken. Hopefully we'll be able to see what's under here, but this is just the initial test. But the guitar actually feels pretty nice. Like the action is like very low. And there's no weird like buzzing sound at some of the keys over here. Yeah. It seems like the guitar was previously set up properly, which is nice. Again, with broken parts, I wouldn't worry too much. I would probably still play this guitar. But this is just the initial check with the functions before, again, I tear it apart. Alright, so I'm just gonna turn the amp off and we'll start the teardown process, and let's see what's under the guitar. Alright guys, I have my camera set up, so let's start the teardown process. And what I usually use is just a Phillips head screwdriver. And first thing first, I guess we'll have to loosen the string and just remove the old strings. And should be an easy job. Let's see. And sorry if my cat gets in the way. She loves it. All right, let's look at the back. So I am going to try to loosen those screws first. And interestingly, the plastic wrap is still on those covers, but the guitar looks pretty weathered. So I think definitely it's being left somewhere in the Florida, in the garage area where there isn't a humidity control. So it might have some humidity damage on the guitar. Okay. All right, so this is what's under. No rust here, but a lot of dust. It's very dusty. There's an inspection sticker that's already peeling off. Kind of tells you the age of the guitar. Let me find something to wipe everything clean because I don't really like working with dirty guitars. But we're gonna take the string out first. Basically, you just flip over and push it out, and all the strings should eventually all come off. If they're not stuck, right here. And any string that doesn't come out, you could use one of the old string and just push it out. And it should do the trick. For example, over here, I might just use one of the thicker ones and push it out. Feels like the guitar haven't been touched for years and years, and everything is kind of like frozen into place. Okay. All right. Was able to pour everything out, and let's do it clean. So to clean the guitar, what I always do, it's fairly safe. I'm just using a Zeiss lens cleaner to wipe all the surface off, and it evaporates pretty quickly. Whatever's left will treat the surface later, but now I'm mainly focusing on removing all the dust and everything else. You could also just use a fairly damped cloth or paper towel and just wipe everything. It should also do the trick. Okay, so all right, guys, so I just finished cleaning it, and you know what I just noticed? The nut is actually missing the piece from the low E string. I don't know if I did it, chipped it, or it came like this, but I didn't remember it came like this. So obviously I have to get the nuts replaced as well. I might just take it to the shop to have it properly set up. So at this stage, I'm just going to disassemble the guitar and check out the internal components before I turn it in for service, because not everything that I can do at home. I can do some general maintenance stuff, but in terms of adjusting the nuts and putting a new nuts in here, that's beyond my capability. All right, so after the clean, let's just try to open up this area and see what exactly is under there. It's already looking very clean. Hopefully nothing major is wrong with it. Okay, when you take everything off, make sure you save all the parts and screws in one place, so later on you can still retrieve it and put it back to the same place. Okay, so make sure you do that. All right, so I'm gonna leave my bottom plate with all the screws there, and let's take off the top plate from this point on. Again, I might just fast forward the part so you don't get bored. The original pickguard is white, but it has aged, so now it looks vintage white, which I think is actually pretty cool. Those two pieces haven't aged, as well as the actual pickguard cover. All right, make sure you don't accidentally screw this, because this is actually the screw for the coils and the height adjustment. I accidentally screwed it. I'm trying to make it as level as possible from now on and try not to touch those. Those are the two screws that had hole on them, so I'm curious as to what happened. interestingly, the one that had hole had a empty space in between. So I would say those are the special areas that might run a little bit deeper on this guitar. Okay, so it looks like that. Looks different than the rest of the screws. So I believe all the screws are off. We can finally lift this up and maybe take a look. Let's see. Try to show you guys the best I can. So this is all the components. Let me see if I can show you guys. Inside the guitar, the build quality wise, it definitely looks better built than the Squier vintage vibe that I had. I think this is called the potentiometer. Those pods are actually much larger than the vintage vibe, which uses a smaller knob or smaller pods. And the humbucker is right here, and it's actually a Fender design humbucker with a Fender logo. And I believe those are also Fender designed original single coil. Opening up the jack to check out the condition of the jack, because it's actually kind of running loose. And this is what the jack looks like. The inside, it's got quite a lot of dust. And you can see the milled dust is all accumulating inside, which is quite interesting. Like, they didn't even bother to blow the dust out. They just left the dust inside to collect more dust, which I find kind of interesting. But I'm definitely going to tighten up this little jack over here. All right, there we go. So the jack is tightened fairly easy. I'm pretty much just twisting the bottom part, and it actually tightens itself. The chrome is, again, pitted, but shouldn't affect the use. Let me clean the inside a little bit. I just don't like to see all the dust collecting inside. It kind of looks nasty. I think that's better. All right, so I was able to actually clean up the internal space a little bit and pull the cover and flip it for you guys to see. This is what it looks like. The pods are fairly big, bigger than the previous guitar that I've owned. This is a Fender design humbucker, and I believe those are Fender original single coil as well. Okay, so the tape is already deteriorated, so just tells you how old this thing is. And there are some dusty area in here. I am just going to actually quickly vacuum the internals and clean up the edge, so when I put it back, it looks nice and clean. Okay, so let me just do that really quick. So interestingly, there are a lot of sawdust left over in this guitar. I don't think it's going to affect the quality of the guitar, but it just doesn't look good. And also the inside is not shielded. The only part that's shielded is those knobs over here. I mean, what you can do is just use some of those aluminum duct tape and just tape the areas that you want to shield. And I think it works that way as well. Give you some slightly better clean signal if you choose to go that way. But yeah, so in terms of shielding, it's really easy to do. If you want extra shielding, just do it yourself. but this is what it looks like. And again, I'm just gonna quickly clean some of the areas that once I put it back on, I am not able to clean. The cats are fighting. What the heck? All right, and make sure all the wires go under. And I'm gonna try to remove this really nasty looking plastic that's been there since 1999, okay? I don't really know why they don't remove this when they try to assemble it, but it just doesn't look good. And those unsmoothness of the knob, it could probably be because of those plastic, okay? Once I have those removed, it should be fairly smooth, right? Yeah, it does feel much smoother. Good. One last clean, and as you can see, this is the original white color. And this is aged quite well. The exterior parts are all aged quite well. I hate those plastic. Okay. All right. Now I can put everything back. The jack is also very nicely tightened. Gonna secure the jack first. And I'll see you guys in a bit once I put all the screws back on. Okay guys, so just put the guitar back together. Obviously no major issues besides that weird tone knob not working or functioning properly. And what else? The nut, I think I broke it during the clean. So in this video, I'm not even gonna put the string on. I'm going to actually just do a cosmetic restoration of the guitar exterior. And I'm gonna take the guitar to the luthier, have the nut worked on, and have the knob checked and see what's going on. But those are the only issues that I've found so far with the guitar. So yeah, let's just finish this video with a restoration of the exterior. I'm gonna be oiling the fingerboard, beautiful rosewood fingerboard, and waxing the guitar exterior surface on the paint, so at least it looks nice and shine. You know, ready for play when everything gets fixed. So let's get started. So one thing I always check on all the guitars, especially ones with standard tuners, is the tuner sometimes gets really loose. You need a size 10 wrench to actually just tighten the tuner a little bit so it's nice and steady and stays in place, so it would stay in tune for longer, okay? So make sure you always check this every time you're servicing your guitar and you have your string off, because you want this to be nice and tight. Don't over tighten, but nice and tight so it doesn't move around, okay? And again, you need a size 10 millimeter socket to do this. My next step is oil this beautiful rosewood fingerboard. And again, I'm not sure if I'm able to have the oil sip through successfully, because it does look like this board is actually coated with the same paint material as the headstock, which is like a matte clear coat. So if I'm not able to do that, then I'll just wipe it off and we'll do the waxing of all the shiny parts and just the general cleaning of all the matte area, okay? So I suspect this is actually painted on top. The wood is not exposed. Well, let's find out. What I always do for at least my acoustic guitar board is use my tea tree oil, which you can use also for knife preservation. Just a little bit of tea tree oil and wipe all the frets and in between the wood really nicely, and that should give it a beautiful conditioning and a beautiful deep shine. All right, so fingerboard is nicely cleaned, and it's got a beautiful coat of light oil on top. I can wipe it off later, but for now I'm just gonna have it stay there while we work on the polishing of the actual guitar. Let's get it closer. And for polishing work, it's even easier. Like what I use is, this is the best thing for guitar clear coat restoration. It's the new finish. Once your car polish, you shake it well. And we're gonna first try to do the back. And this is what the back looks like before the polishing. And we're gonna start polishing, and then we're gonna take a look. And also the sides. There are quite a lot of scratches over here. Okay. Hopefully, after polishing, those scratches would look a little bit better than before. But it doesn't really affect the use at all, so I wouldn't worry too much. Okay, so once you shake this, again, I'm going to fast forward the polishing part because it's just gonna be a very manual labor intensive. And what I'm really interested is to see if I'm able to polish this plate a little bit, so some of the pitting would actually show less compared to when I first got it. Might apply too much, but let's see. As you can see, I was able to remove most of the pitting on the plate, so which makes it looks actually quite a lot nicer on the back. And I'm sure the more time you spend, the better your polishing is gonna look like. Even the screws gets polished and all the pitting has been removed from the screw as well, so it definitely works, okay? This is my favorite polisher for restoring guitars, cars, even bicycles, anything that have a clear coating. This is the best, okay? All right, now it looks so much better, so much better. And you don't need a lot, like just a little bit. Most of the stuff is already removed. And I use a clean piece, and I'm gonna do a polishing look, and Let's see how well it goes, how good of a job it did. Wow, amazing. Okay guys, I think you definitely want to try this if you haven't. Okay, look at that. Wow, it's it did its job. So right now the board is coated with the polisher, and I'm gonna again use a piece of clean cloth, and I'm just gonna polish the back plate. And of course you can do multiple passes, so the more passes you do, the better it's gonna look, or the higher the shine is gonna be. The back is done. I'm gonna put the plate back. Now those small screws on wood, I wouldn't over tighten them. Just stop at where it kind of just meets at the end of the plate, because the small ones are really easy to be stripped. Even though it's easy to fix, you would still probably want to avoid stripping those smaller screws on the Fender guitars. All right, and we're done with the back. Very nice. The chrome part is nicely polished, and the side is fairly good polished. Nobody's going to look at the side, and we're going to focus on the front. There are some obvious handling scratches, but again, nothing to worry about. I'm going to focus on the pitting over here, and maybe some of the pitting over here if I can remove it with just some general cleaner polish. Okay. Most of the pitting has gone. There are some that's slightly deeper that this polishing compound is not going to be able to remove, but it already looks a lot better. All right, so I kind of finished with the jack. Now I'm going to actually move on to the general area and just polish the general area really nicely. Can't stop. Oh yeah, it looks way better compared to before. Alright guys, so I finished restoring the guitar's exterior, and this is what it looks like after just a quick exterior restoration. As you can see, the guitar had some scratches and dings at the most common area where the scratches and dings are happening. However, paint is in excellent condition. The internal components looks to be in excellent condition as well. The only thing puzzles me is the middle tone knob does not work. I don't know why, but hopefully the luthier would be able to fix it for me. I haven't polished the tuners, but the tuners with a little clean is already looking like really nice. And again, the maple neck on the back, no complaints. This thing has been minimally played, as it seems like. And it's just a beautiful piece of instrument, okay? So the last step I'm going to do is polishing those kind of oxidated tuner and call it a day, okay? Okay, all done. check this out. A 25-year-old guitar. Very playable with minor issues. Is it worth the price? Absolutely. Like, this is a genuine Fender made in Mexico guitar from 25 years ago, almost 25 years ago. And I'll definitely make another video when we finish when the luthier finishes with checking out the knob and replacing this broken nut. We should be able to play with the guitar really nicely. For now, exterior restoration is complete. If you guys have any questions about this Fender guitar or the way it's being restored, feel free to ask me in the comment section down below. Otherwise, I hope you found this video helpful. And if you did, please do hit the like button or subscribe to my channel. And I will definitely have more guitar-related videos coming out for you guys. So thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.